This is from the White House. 365 days of President Donald J. Trump, a golden age just getting started. I've got quite a few posts to go through with regard to the first. This is marking the official completed his first year as president for his second term. So there's going to be a lot of accomplishments that are going to be covered in the next short little while. So we're going to start right here from the White House. Good grief, man. They packed a lot inside that minute. I mean, hell, you could go frame by frame. That'd take a friggin' hour to go through all those images. I mean, it has been a crazy-ass busy year for President Trump over the last year. A hell of a lot going on. This also from the White House, a defining moment in history, a clear mandate from the American people. 365 days later, President Donald J. Trump is delivering. Patriotism is rising. America is back, and the story is just getting started. This one's a little bit longer.
Sometimes
almost 4 minutes.
History, there's this magic moment. Somebody appears on the scene and everything changes.
I am with you.
We've never seen anything like this.
I will fight for you.
This was a man who's met his destiny.
And I will win for you.
He said he was saved by God in order to make America great again.
His victory was the greatest comeback of all time.
You're watching history, so buckle up.
I don't think the American people have ever seen this before. A government that has moved this quickly and a president that has done so much when it comes to the border and energy and major investments. From
it goes on and on. The border, energy, transportation, Department of Education, the VA, the global stage, the world stage,
from the people, and he's using
the tariffs.
Just getting started.
President Trump said on the campaign trail, success
9
will be my
peace deals,
Despite the best
or
efforts
10.
of
I think we're up to
those who
10
would
now.
try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free. We're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do what I'm doing.
America's back, common sense is back.
I really think he's right about that. I think, honestly, after President Trump's finished with the second term, we're going to go right back to the establishment bullshit.
And record tariff revenue.
I hope I'm wrong, though.
Is on a roll, culminating in the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill on July 4th.
The Trump economic golden age is full steam ahead. America is back, thanks to the courage of President Trump, thanks to the leadership of his amazing cabinet, and thanks, of course, to our brave men and women in the United States military.
This is a message to the rest of the world. The days of ripping off America and Americans are officially over.
Between the attacks on Iran's nuke site and the Maduro operation, the U.S. military recruitment at an all-time high.
This president will go down in history as a peacemaking president.
Peace through strength, America's in charge.
And he's just got one filter, and that is America first.
Whatever they're doing, it's working. Zero illegal crossing, drug cartels frustrated, less crimes.
We have the most secure border in the history of this nation. If you think we're doing good now, you just wait till this coming year.
The president isn't taking his foot off the gas in 2026.
It's a new year. The stock markets are already making new record highs.
The Trump archive are a series of near impossible feats.
As for the next year, the American people have so much to look forward to. The president will continue to build off of his historic accomplishments.
2025 was setting the table, that the banquet's going to be in 2026.
This is the golden age coming.
He says, make America great again because every American is invited.
My fellow Americans, get ready for an incredible future because the golden age of America has only just begun.
Well, there you have it. That was a hell of a busy year, as I already said. Hell of a crazy year. Hell of a good year in many ways last year, 2025. All I know is in 2026, yeah, I'm sure Trump is just going to stay full steam ahead. It's going to be another crazy busy year. I just hope that Congress, I hope they just get freaking ruthless this year and they just start railroading as many executive orders as they can, codify those, pass as many bills as possible. The SAVE Act, also the one that Tom Emmer discussed earlier with the naturalization of immigrants committing fraud, and the list goes on. I mean, that's just really what they have to do, man. Congress has got to get off their asses, man, and just really start moving a lot, because they got to look. There is a lot to show for, not so much with Congress, but there's a lot of Trump's accomplishments that he has to show for that should, at least in theory, carry a lot of candidates across the finish line on election day. I'm just not sure if that's really going to quite be good enough. And plus, dude, they've got plenty of ammunition to fire back at Democrats for what the hell they've been doing. There's not a single thing in 2025 Democrats did that was in any way positive in any meaningful way for Americans. It's all been just, destroy and obstruct and pro illegal immigration, pro fraud apparently now. And so, I mean, look, they've got a lot of ammunition to win 2026, but I'm sure it's just going to take a lot of careful planning strategy. Plus the SAVE Act. They've got to get that passed. They got to make our election system as ironclad as possible for 2026. And if they don't do that, then, I mean, look, it would just reinforce my reason why I'm not even a registered Republican, because they don't get shit done. They're just full of shit most of the time. At least historically they are. And I just hope that this time, or for this election this year, hopefully we're all proven wrong, and hopefully we'll see a Republican Congress like we've not seen before. I don't know, man. I've got my doubts, and I think many of us have our doubts that we're going to see a Congress that effective, but one can only hope. So anyway, we're just going to move on to Stephen Miller. He posted a banger. So he says, 1 year ago today, after 10 years of persecution, 2 near assassinations, actually, I think some might even argue almost 3, and unrelenting wrath of the corrupt political class, an earthquake shook the depraved establishment to its core. President Trump achieved history's greatest and most astounding political victory. America saved, Providence fulfilled. Okay, yeah, 2 near assassinations prior to him being elected president. Okay, I'll go with that. In these last 12 months in rapid succession, it's been one reversal of decline after another, one colossal win for America after another. Record border security, record deportation, record crime reduction, record inflation reduction, record tax reduction, record native job growth, record investment, record slashing of the trade deficit, record deregulation, record energy production, the dismantlement of DEI, trans insanity and woke supremacy, dethroning the deep state and the tyranny of bureaucracy, the revitalizing of our national patriotism and glory in this, our 250th year, the resurrection of American culture, including the designation of English as the official language of the United States, the reassertion of American sovereignty, hegemony, strength, and Western civilization, the reawakening of the Monroe Doctrine, and implementation of the Trump Doctrine, ending 8 wars, restoring the unrivaled might and lethal dominance of the American armed forces, and using those forced to secure our interests and our borders, and to crush the cartels and foreign enemies of the United States, and the thrilling dawn of a new American age of superiority in space, technology, medicine, automation, computing, manufacturing, and the grand industries of the future as we once again reach for the limits of our infinite destiny. This is the golden age of America. And don't forget about the Gulf of America. The Gulf of America. And it was an amazing year last year for sure. I mean, there was so much that got done. Not to get all black-pilled or anything, but if they take over Congress, and God forbid in 2028, if they take over the Oval, they could pretty much unravel everything. I mean, I would go as far as to say exactly that. They really could. They could unravel pretty much anything they damn well please. So, not to throw a wrench into Stephen Miller's statement. I mean, that was a hell of a good statement. I'm just saying, I don't know, man. I just feel weary about the midterms, just statistically speaking, historically speaking. Typically, whichever party wins the presidency during the midterm, it's usually the other party that takes over, especially if the political party of the president wins, as well as the president during that election cycle. So I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Let's just hope that they just carry on I think a lot of it's going to lie in how productive Congress will be this year. Anyway, so DNI Tulsi Gabbard, and she posted a video to accompany this post. 1 year ago today, President Trump took office, pledging to confront America's greatest challenges head on. ODNI has spent the past year focused on one mission: keeping America safe, secure, and free. Our mission continues. Let's take a look at this.
1 year ago, as President Trump assumed office, he pledged to the American people that his administration would confront our nation's greatest challenges head on, and enacting his America First agenda focused on keeping America safe, secure, and free. As Director of National Intelligence, we have been and will continue to be focused on that mandate, ensuring the security of our nation and protecting the constitutional rights and civil liberties every American is guaranteed. And President Trump has already taken historic action immediately to secure our borders in record time and designated several cartels as foreign terrorist organizations.
About damn time.
A move that has empowered our National Counterterrorism Center here at ODNI to deploy over 2 decades of counterterrorism expertise towards detecting and deterring cartels and gangs like never before. In just 1 year, this designation by President Trump prevented more than 10,000 individuals with direct ties to narco-terrorism from accessing our country. And we work very closely with our partners at the federal, state, and local level.
85,000?
The apprehensions of several cartel terrorists, including a Sinaloa cartel boss known as El Pato, who allegedly led a vast network of drug trafficking, extortion, kidnapping, and murder. Another example is a CJNG-affiliated baby trafficker called La Diabla, who preyed on vulnerable pregnant women in Mexico, lured them to remote areas, cut out their babies, harvested their organs, and sold these newborn babies. These are just a few examples of the progress that's been made toward ending the gang and cartel violence that's plagued the American people and put our lives at risk for far too long. As we focus on external threats, we also recognize that there are still insider threats coming from deep state actors who have politicized and weaponized our institutions and our intelligence against the very citizens that they are charged to serve and protect.
Are you listening, AG
Thanks to
Pam
President
Bondi?
Trump's leadership and his day one executive orders, we've been focused on transparency and accountability. First, declassifying over 500,000 government documents in a single year. We exposed the Russia collusion hoax, this fabricated so-called intelligence engineered by the Obama administration to orchestrate what was essentially a coup.
Yeah, remember when she dropped that bombshell?
Manufactured investigations,
dropped all those documents
and harassment,
absolutely
subverting
wild.
the will of the American people in the deep state's attempt to delegitimize the president and the American people who elected him.
Did anybody get indicted for that yet?
So much more work to be done. The American people deserve the truth, accountability, and justice from our government. The integrity of our democratic republic depends on it. President Trump vowed to eradicate waste, fraud, and abuse throughout the government, respecting your hard-earned taxpayer dollars. At ODNI, we enacted historic change. We streamlined our workforce by 40%, shut down unnecessary facilities and contracts, saving taxpayers more than $700 million per year. We are continuing this work,
The
building
FBI's
a
doing the
team
same
and
thing,
an organization
saving
that
billions.
is laser-focused on national security, intelligence integration, and oversight. We've made a lot of progress, but there is a lot more work to be done. So every day, our time, our energy, and our work remains focused on our mission and our mandate: the safety, security, and freedom of the American people.
There you go. There you have it. From Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. And we'll roll on to the next. There's still quite a few from Howard Lutnick. And just real quick, Howard Lutnick is the 41st United States Secretary of Commerce. And he says in just 1 year, President Trump's America First trade agenda has changed the trajectory of our economy. We're rebuilding our industrial base, securing supply chains, and bringing investment and jobs back home where they belong. We're only just getting started.
The fact is, the United States has hit how many record highs? 50 or something record highs this year since Donald Trump took office, right? Oh, and the market's down today. Oh, what? We should all be worried? Let me give you a hint. The growth of the United States
ridiculously high, man.
Hard and fast. We are winning and we are growing. Our stock market's going to be higher when I next see you and I'm next on the show.
Wait, didn't the
right?
Dow Jones top
Interest rates are gonna
50,000
come
yet?
down in
It
America,
came pretty damn
inflation
close
is
if it
low.
didn't cross
the
over
United
that.
States is in a good place because Donald Trump
S&P
understands the
S&P
economy
sitting
of the
around
United
7,000.
States, and he's working for the American people and
crazy.
our economy.
Well, clearly.
The fact is,
Absolutely
the United
crazy,
States
man.
is
It's just exploding. Absolutely exploding. Which, of course it is. I mean, not only for the tariffs, but also, what was it, over $10 trillion worth of investing from either from private investors or from national investors like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, or Qatar, however the hell you pronounce it. Like, they invested something like $1.2 or $1.5 trillion into the United States. That announcement came out recently. All right, so from the VA Secretary Doug Collins, so proud of all the Department of Veterans Affairs has accomplished in just 1 year under President Trump's leadership. See how we're putting veterans first here, and he gives a link to their website, which I will link below, but we'll check out the video.
You're coming up on 1 year in the job. How's it been?
A challenge every day, but it's been a great challenge.
When I got to the VA, there was 260,000 backlogged disability claims.
Good
that were
grief,
over
that's ridiculous,
125 days. So we put an intense focus on it. We put overtime on it, and I'm here to report to you today, we have dropped it to under 150,000, and it is falling every day.
I mean, that's a hell of an achievement. But dude,
We closed
150,000
out
is
the
still
year
a
with
huge
over
number.
3 million claims processed. That's 2.4 million was the previous record.
Yeah, that's a
we
lot.
shattered that
That
by
is a lot.
600,000.
The first step is developing a culture that says, we've done it this way for so long, is this still the right way to do it? In other words, the paperwork should be simple enough, the process should be simple enough that they can get the benefit that they've earned.
Community care coupled with our direct care is something that is vital. It's what the Mission Act requires.
I mean, we've spent billions of dollars from Congress and others to try and get an electronic health record system in. Let's make sure we're looking to see how we can solve this problem. And instead of just doing 4 for possibly next year, we're up to 13 sites and looking to do even more in the years out. This is another victory at the VA, is we're looking forward to modernizing what we do and making sure our patients are taken care of.
I want to turn to another innovation that you have pushed very hard, and that is getting these new regional centers out there in between the gaps of the hospitals, the big hospitals. I think about 20 or 24 of them you've done now.
We put those in places that allow for drive times to be reduced. We built them all over the country, which cuts our long-term costs and gives us a better quality of life. So for us, the homeless situation, the death by suicide situation are my top priorities. How can we help them get self-sufficient, self-sustaining? We don't want to see any person who served this country not have the ability to find shelter and have permanent shelter.
We're also getting ready to announce here pretty soon a reorganization that's going to bring our hospital system organizationally in line with the 21st century.
So we reorganize it where our hospitals and clinics are the tip of the spear. Everybody else supports them instead of the other way around.
We're changing the metric. The metric is no longer how big we are. The metric is how well are we taking care of veterans, and that is our only measure of success anymore.
Yeah, with regard to our welfare state, I'm all for putting money and resources toward the veterans. I mean, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody, especially anybody who leans conservative or on the right to have, any other viewpoint on that. But Doug Collins, I don't really know much about him, but he definitely comes off as a guy who spends a lot of time at the VA facilities, spending time with the veterans, hanging out with them, getting feedback. At least I like to think that he is. All right, so this is from HHS Housing and Health and Human Services. My bad. It's not HUD. It's HHS. So under President Trump's leadership, we are restoring gold standard science. They don't have a video with this one, but I'll read it with the bullet points. Restoring gold standard science. HHS followed ACIP's recommendation to remove mercury from the U.S. flu vaccine supply. I mean, that seems a little common sense. ACIP recommended individual decision-making for COVID-19 vaccination and placing the decision back with parent. Good. The CDC updated the U.S. childhood vaccine schedule to align with international consensus and comprehensive science. What is it, like 15 or 13? It's like a 13 different vaccines as opposed to something like 73 or 75 vaccines that the CDC was recommending prior to that. Just unbelievable. Like pretty much every European country, they only give their children like 15 at the most. So HHS is tackling the autism epidemic by authorizing potential treatments, issuing a warning on acetaminophen, and announcing $50 million to research root causes. Year 1 of Make America Healthy Again. Yeah, I mean, autism is absolutely insanely exploded. It was like in the 90s, it was something like 1 out of every 10,000 children had autism. Now it's like 1 in 36. Just unfreaking believable. All right, Randy Weber, January 20th, 2026, 365 days in, and really all we needed was a new president. Here are the numbers that prove it. And there's image, Trump's 365, and let's see, from Congressman Randy Weber, of course. So 14 of the top 20 metro areas with the largest illegal alien population saw home list prices fall, including cities in Texas. Austin dropped 7.3%. Houston and Dallas both fell also, and that can be found on whitehouse.gov. For years, unchecked illegal migration acted like a mudslide on our housing market, burying working families under higher prices. You don't fix a mudslide by piling on more weight. The president fixed it by enforcing the law and closing the border, unlike the last quote-unquote president. Texans and Americans are finally getting a fair shot again. Now look at where prices didn't fall. Seattle up 0.3%, Chicago up 0.4%, Philadelphia up 0.5%. Every one of them is a sanctuary city. Of course they are. At the pump, Americans are seeing the same story. Gas prices are now at $2.79 a gallon, the lowest national average in nearly 5 years. President Trump unleashed American energy again instead of begging foreign adversaries. Damn straight. Definitely a good thing. When America moves in the right direction, costs come down. Families notice, paychecks stretch further, small businesses feel it. Our kids are counting on an America where hard work still leads somewhere. That future is back within reach. I certainly hope that everybody remembers that come up election time, because everybody needs to be voting this time. Vote with your life, for crying out loud. All right, so 365 days in, the formula is proven. Enforce the border, unleash American energy, restore law and order, grow the economy. That's the road to the American dream. All we needed was a new president, and that's exactly what Americans got. Amen. And we'll head on to the next. Senator Marsha Blackburn. Under Joe Biden, inflation once reached a staggering 9.1%. Y'all remember that? Remember that during the COVID era? Everything was skyrocketing. Just some of the most ridiculous prices. Like a freaking Miracle Whip. That's one that I distinctly remember. Like the full-size jar, what is it, like 16 or 20-ounce jar of Miracle Whip typically costs like, what, $4.50? And during the height of that inflation bullshit, at least in my local grocery store, it jumped to $11. Absolutely insane. And like, we're still dealing with extremely high prices on some things like coffee, but from what I've read, that's because of extreme drought over the last couple of years, but also the shrinkflation. Remember when coffee used to be 16 ounces per bag? Well, you won't find 16 ounces anymore. It's all 12 ounces now, and they're charging more for less. Same with ice cream, and so on and so forth. All right, so Senator Jim Banks. 1 year ago, Donald Trump was sworn in again as president of the United States. In his historic first year, he has secured the southern border, taken the fight to the drug cartels, secured the largest tax cut in history, and made it permanent. And he's only getting started. I'm proud to support President Trump. I can't wait for another historic year. Hopefully, we'll see the end of a historic year with another one to come, 2027. But I guess the election will have to determine that. All right, Jim Rich says 1 year of securing wins for Idaho. They stopped the lava ridge, broke ground on the new Boise Veterans Home, protected women's sports, delivered the largest tax cut for working families, preserved the ROTC programs at University of Idaho and Idaho State University. Here's to another year of Idaho wins with the president. And from the Department of State, America's decline is over. Thanks to President Trump, we are facing the world with dignity, power, and strength. From brokering peace deals to increasing defense spending and securing the border, we are putting America first.
The golden age of America begins right now. During every single day of the Trump administration, I will very simply put America first. We will be working to meet every crisis with dignity and power and strength.
The president has kept his promise to the American people. Let's start with the peace deals. India, Pakistan are ready to go to war. Cambodia and Thailand, Azerbaijan and Armenia, and of course Gaza.
The long and painful nightmare is finally over.
The president got NATO to increase their defense spending to 5%. We also helped secure the border, not just in the deals we made with other countries to send people back. We've got more countries than ever accepting their people that are in this country illegally from their countries. They're also helping us stop them from coming here in the first place. He's keeping us safe by taking the war to the drug cartels.
The United States
About damn time.
Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela.
Probably the most elaborate arrest warrant ever served.
Dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. From
hell, they used
this
every
moment
branch
on,
of the military for that one.
America's decline is over.
Yep, God willing. And again, that was from the Department of State. And this is from Joni Ernst. And this is, and she says, in 1 year, President Trump has used Doge to save taxpayers billions. I'm proud to have partnered with the Trump administration to make Washington squeal and deliver real savings to hardworking taxpayers. And we're just getting started. Oh man, she got ratioed. Uh-oh. Did she get ratioed in a good way or a bad way? Okay, a lot of filibuster stuff, right? Yeah. Of course, because she's a senator. Pass the SAVE Act. We, the people, demand a vote. I mean, I'm sure that she's probably not paying attention to her X account. There's very few members of Congress that I imagine are actually occasionally looking at the comments. And honestly, the only one that comes to mind off the top of my head is Senator Mike Lee. He actually gets in arguments sometimes in the comments, actually. But I can't think of anybody else that actually proactively at least responds to their comments. I certainly wish that Republican senators would, because I'm sure that like post after post, it's filled with this. Nuke the filibuster, pass the SAVE Act. We the people tired of all talk, no action. The pass of all Doge cuts into law, quit funding the GD Taliban, and pass the SAVE Act. Not really feeling the savings here. No, not really. I mean, to be honest, the tax cuts, they can only be done by adding to the deficit. I mean, that's really the only meaningful way that they could have cut our taxes, other than downsizing the government substantially, which was the whole point of Doge. That's probably why Elon Musk got angry with the Trump administration and Trump himself, just a few months into him heading up Doge, because like they made tons of cuts and they were doing incredible work. And I think some of it might have gotten codified somewhere along the way, maybe in the big, beautiful bill, but it wasn't good enough. And they cut taxes, which was great, but they only cut taxes by raising the ceiling of the deficit. It just didn't make any sense. I don't know, man. It's just freaking playing politics. It would just be nice for them to downsize it, enough to be able to give us those tax cuts and not have to add to our freaking deficit. All right, so pass the SAVE Act. How long has the SAVE Act been sitting on Leader John Thune's desk? Put it up for a vote now. Let's see who truly supports President Trump. Amen. Pass the SAVE Act, pass the SAVE Act. I mean, like, that's what they're all saying. They're all saying pass the SAVE Act. This is what everybody's telling the Senate to do. And nuke the filibuster. I would say if they honestly did nuke the filibuster, they don't have to nuke the filibuster, I don't think, to pass the SAVE Act, but maybe they do. I mean, yeah, it might require a 60 vote threshold. It honestly probably does. And that still should be no excuse to not put it on the floor. At least put it on the floor so then you could show the country who's actually for secure elections and who are against it. Clearly, all the Democrats are going to be against it. Or they could just nuke the filibuster and then pass it. And I would say that'd be a virtual certainty that if they were to nuke the filibuster and they actually start passing what needs to be passed, what actually needs to be passed, and for President Trump to sign, I would call it a certainty. I mean, I would probably, I would honestly make a Vegas bet on it, frankly. All right, so U.S. Department of Labor, 1 year into his second term, President Trump remains the only 21st century president to ensure all net job growth goes to American-born workers. America first. With the B-2 Stealth, and that's probably the F-22 Raptor. And Rep. Keith Self, two presidents, 45 years apart, same mission, make America great again. Read my latest op-ed in Daily Signal here. Well, I will have a look at it if it's not paywalled. So, oh yeah, here, let me go ahead and click here so I can find the link, and we'll take a look at that. He's talking about Reagan, and we'll see what he has to say. 45 years later, President Trump is delivering on Reagan's promise. 1 year ago today, January 20th, 2025, President Trump was sworn in as the 47th president of the U.S. inside the U.S. Capitol Rotunda. Freezing winds and biting cold forced the ceremony indoors, echoing President Ronald Reagan's second inauguration in 1985, when temperatures plunged to 7 degrees Fahrenheit and the event moved to the same historic space. During both inaugurations, winter's fury became a powerful symbol for American resilience and unyielding resolve. I think it's actually not much warmer than that in D.C. today. Didn't it fall into like the single digits? I know this morning I woke up to frost on everybody's rooftops, and I haven't seen frost in about a year, usually in January. I mean, we don't see frost every year. I'd say maybe once every probably 3-4 years that we'll see frost for a single morning, but today was that morning. Anyway, during both inaugurations, winter's fury became a powerful symbol of American resilience and unyielding resolve. Just as Reagan initially launched his revolution in 1980, Trump has, in one transformative year, taken bold strides to renew his promise to make America great again and deliver real results for the American people. Under Trump's bold leadership, American sovereignty has been restored. The days of mass migration, open borders, and chaos are over. The administration has driven record removals. Over 2.5 million illegals have departed the country through deportations and a surge in voluntary self-departures, while border crossings are essentially non-existent. For 8 consecutive months, 0 illegal aliens have been released into the country, and the U.S. has achieved net negative migration for the first time in at least 5 decades. Native-born Americans are finally seeing historic employment gains, no longer displaced by cheap foreign labor or jobs shipped overseas. The deadly fentanyl flow has been curtailed significantly, saving countless lives. Communities are safer, and American jobs are returning to the homeland right where they belong. Like Reagan, Trump has rebuilt U.S. credibility on the world stage with a clear doctrine of peace through strength. Through decisive trade policies, targeted military actions like Operation Midnight Hammer, which struck key Iranian nuclear facilities in June of last year, and broader efforts to project resolve, America is once again a force for good, protecting our citizens and allies, national security, and vital interests, all without endless wars. At home, Trump and congressional Republicans secured historic tax relief through the Working Families Tax Cuts Act, also known as the One Big Beautiful Bill. Trump also made the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act permanent while adding new wins for working families, no taxes on tips or overtime pay, and meaningful relief for seniors, including provisions that effectively eliminate taxes on Social Security benefits for most recipients. Families in states like Texas stand to average tax cuts in the thousands of dollars annually starting this year. The act also eliminated more than $1.5 trillion in wasteful spending and ended reckless Green New Deal-style policies that burden the grid with unreliable energy. Instead, we've unleashed proven sources: oil, gas, coal, and nuclear. I'm telling you, man, it's all about nuclear. The payoff is clear. Gas prices have dropped to their lowest levels in nearly 5 years, putting billions back in Americans' pockets and making everyday life more affordable. 1 year in, Trump's decisive leadership has transformed promises into progress. Borders fortified and sovereignty reclaimed. American strength and respect restored on the global stage. Energy dominance unleashed, and hardworking families rightfully keeping more of what they earned through historic tax relief. While certain results, such as fully eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse, lowering inflation and mortgage rates even further, and completing the full identification and removal of all remaining illegal aliens, will take additional time. The proactive leadership driving these changes is already delivering clear, tangible gains across the board. 45 years after Reagan first declared it, Trump is making America great again, stronger, safer, and more prosperous. The foundation is firm, the momentum is unstoppable, and America's greatest chapter is just beginning. So there you go, from the Daily Signal, and actually from Keith Self, who actually wrote that op-ed, and that was not too bad. It was a pretty good one. And from Senator Mike Crapo on this first anniversary of President Trump's second inauguration, I am celebrating a year of historic wins for Idaho and the American people, from securing a 50-year low in illegal border crossings to passing the landmark Working Families tax cuts, saving families thousands of dollars and protecting millions of jobs. The Trump administration has hit the ground running with exceptional speed. This first year saw 417 appointee confirmations, 365 more than in Biden's first year. Beyond our borders, the arrest of Nicolas Maduro and the exclusion of UNRWA from the Gaza peace process show a renewed strength in putting America first in foreign policy. Here at home, we have secured the Secure Rural Schools program for our rural counties through 2026, passed a pay raise for our troops in the NDAA, and protected the beautiful Idaho landscapes by canceling the Lava Ridge Wind Project. As we reflect on these incredible milestones, I will continue working with the Trump administration to build an even stronger, more prosperous Idaho and nation in the years to come. And from Homeland Security, 1 year of making America safe again. Since taking office on January 20th, 2025, President Trump's first year has been nothing short of extraordinary, thanks to the men and women of DHS. Big number, man. 220,000 applications. Yeah, no shortage of people wanting to join. Hell yeah. Well, of course, the Democrats, they'll try to lead you to believe the exact opposite. But yeah, there's a massive surge in applicants trying to join Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which I've actually noticed. I think I just noticed yesterday. Most of the ICE officers that they're showing in videos, which ironically, most of these videos are filmed by leftists, they're not a bunch of white dudes. They're of all different races and colors, and like Asian, Hispanic. So I just find that kind of hilarious because, you know, like they're going to lead you to believe that, oh, they're just evil, misogynist, just xenophobic white men.
If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Check out The Swamp, Monday through Friday at 11 p.m. Eastern, with segments dropping on the daily. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.